welcome back to SourceFED. I'm Reina. The first Ebola case has been diagnosed in the United States yesterday, and it's the first time ever the U.S. has encountered Ebola in this manner. As you know, SourceFED has been following the development of the Ebola outbreak, and you can check that out right here. According to Dr. Tom Frieden, the director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the patient left Liberia on September 19th, arrived in the U.S. on the 20th, sought medical help on the 27th in Dallas, Texas, and was put into isolation on the 28th, and tests confirming the Ebola diagnosis came in yesterday. Frieden stated that the patient was not sick upon arriving in the U.S. as he did not exhibit any symptoms until later, which means he was not infectious until then. There have been some reports popping up claiming that the patient was originally sent home by the hospital with antibiotics because the symptoms were so nondescript and his lab tests weren't notably indicative of any deadly virus. It was reported he sought medical help 2 days prior to being moved to an isolation unit on Sunday the 28th, but details are still a bit unclear. The city of Dallas has activated its Emergency Operations Center to high readiness, which is level 2, and are currently evaluating 12 to 18 people that the patient have confirmed to have been in contact with. Frieden believes the disease will be stopped in its tracks and will not result in an outbreak. However, health officials are closely monitoring a second possible case of an individual who was in close contact with the first patient. Health workers and caregivers of the sick are particularly at risk for the disease because they work in close contact with infected patients and have to handle the patient's blood and secretions. The Ebola virus is defined as a group of viruses that cause a deadly hemorrhagic fever, meaning internal and external bleeding due to liver and kidney failure. It has an incubation period of 21 days, and a patient with Ebola isn't infectious until they exhibit symptoms. Those early symptoms include fever, muscle weakness, sore throat, and headaches, which is terrifying because those ambiguous symptoms sound like every illness ever. The fatality rate is alarming as it ranges between 50 to 90%, and frighteningly, there is no cure. The virus is transmitted through contact with blood or secretions from an infected person, secretions meaning anything coming out of a gland like sweat. But the virus is not airborne, so you can't get the disease by breathing in the same air as an infected patient. For those of you who are simply paranoid, much like I am in general, the CDC suggests frequently washing your hands, avoiding contact with blood and bodily fluids of anyone, not touching the body of someone who has recently died of Ebola, right, because we normally go around touching dead bodies anyway, and do not touch bats or primates or their blood/secretions, and do not touch or eat raw primate or bat meat. I normally do none of these things, so I should be safe. What are your opinions on the first ever Ebola diagnosis in the United States? Let us know in the comments section below. If you could so kindly hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the annotation for all the other stuff we do. And of course, to the patient literally fighting for his life, our thoughts are with you. I'm Reina Scully.